Khalid is an award-winning novelist, radio presenter, and a translator. She has written 6 novels, 3 collections of short stories, and a travel book, where 2 novels have been translated to English, German, and Serbian. Khalid has a foreign educational background, which always inspires her and gives her writing a cross-cultural essence. She's also a dubbing actress and has passion for music, dancing, and painting. That's why she makes full use of the minute details of the world of broadcasting and visual arts in her works. Being raised in a Cairene middle-class family, Khalid gives a fresh perspective on modern life through its rich detail and rejection of currently fashionable precepts, in addition to focusing on the daily anxieties, uncertainties, and paradoxes in the life of ordinary Egyptian families. In this episode, we go down the memory lane and talk about her various works.
Namaskar. I'm very delighted to welcome multi-talented Mai Khalid to the 4th episode of Reminiscing of Yayavar. Mai Khalid is joining us. Thank you. Mai Khalid is joining us all the way from Egypt, the land of pyramids, sphinx, and the river Nile. We will be discussing about her novel, The Magic of Turquoise, and a lot more about her life and how she got into writing and became one of the most popular novelists and a short story writer. A very warm welcome, Mai.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this introduction.
To begin with, a very happy Eid.
And happy to all the universe. We're all together now.
Yes, we're all together.
Yeah.
Going back to the Magic of Turquoise, you know, Mai, when I was going through your novels, I realized you have written 6 novels, 1 travel book, and 3 short story books.
Yes.
That's quite a lot, and out of that, 2 novels were awarded in the International Literary Fair of Cairo.
Yes.
Yet, I got drawn towards the Magic of Turquoise.
Okay.
I do not know why, but I decided to pick up on this book, which you wrote back in 2007, and it got published in 2011 by the press of the American University.
Yes.
And it was like, I always feel a book picks up the reader, not the vice versa.
Okay.
So the actually called me up, and being from a spiritual background, and so are you. So I would like to, ask you, when I read this Magic of Turquoise and slowly open up and unfold how I got attracted to Magic of Turquoise and what was there in this novel to give it to me. You are talking about the high middle class family. I believe maybe in the era of late 1980s or early 1990s.
Yes, exactly.
Was it decided or it just happened? Like, was the plot decided for you or it just happened?
Well, let me first tell you why you got attracted. It's not a coincidence by any means, because things just happened in less than half an hour. A common friend of ours connected us to discover that we have almost 2 similar novels and almost typical ideas and similar terminology. So I don't think at all that this is a coincidence or you just picked this story by chance. And at the same time, I have just returned from India just before the lockdown, and you mentioned Egypt and that you would wish to come to Egypt one day. So I don't think that this is a coincidence or you just picked this story. The story came to you for a reason that we will know later. And I think that it's going to be something marvelous. As for you, yes. As for your question, I didn't choose to write. I will tell you something. Whenever I set my mind on writing any novel, at this period of time when I start writing, I have certain ideas, just free ideas, free from any places or people. And I have some interesting characters in mind. And at the same time, I have some interesting places, lovely places. But these places are void of interesting people. So I do this mixture of people, ideas, and places and put them together, and they come out as a novel which is suitable for the time, which these things are so pressing on my mind and my soul, and they choose to come out in a novel.
Great. See this novel, when I started reading, I got hooked to this novel from the very first line. When Leela is in conversation with herself, when Nirvana. Now, these two names, Leela is a very Indian name.
Yeah.
And Nirvana is a very uncommon name to be given it to a protagonist. So
Yes.
how did you decide on these names, Leela and Nirvana?
Nirvana, it's because of the state of Nirvana. Because her name, all through her life, nobody understood her name. But she but eventually she took a big share of her name as a Nirvana after her long trip, after her long journey in life. Leela, it's Layla. It's Layla in Arabic, like a night. And I gave her this name so that I give her the nickname of Lily, Leela,
Okay.
Lilac, the violet roses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's there. You know, Nirvana in your novel was so upset during her growing times that nobody could understand her name. So she gave her name a short form, Nunu.
Yes. Yes.
And in my college days, my friends used to call me Nunu. I'm Nupur, and there was a film. Some heroine came with the name of Nupur, and her boyfriend used to call her Nunu. So they all started calling me Nunu. So
that's
one
why
reason why I got attracted.
Yes, that's why it's not a coincidence.
And your novel talks a lot about, about the Indian culture, a lot about cooking. The Nirvana is so fond of cooking Indian style dishes, and the best is chicken curry with rice, turmeric rice. So there was so much of love being reflected, for India in your novel. Was it that you wrote, in your imagination, you always, do you like Indian dishes, and how were you relating to that? Because the origin of the characters and your novel is Egypt.
I will tell you that I've written all this unconsciously. My unconscious has written this. Maybe because I had a colleague at university who was Indian, and he used to get us our birthday gifts as Indian food, large, huge pots of Indian food instead of the cake. And we used to love this. He was the editor-in-chief of the newspaper I used to work in at university, and he was Indian. He was a lovely personality. Maybe I got attracted to this food very much. And I consider that food is part of the culture of the nations. Food and clothes would make you love a country. This is the soft power of the country. Other than politics and wars, you can very softly make somebody get attracted to you. So I got attracted to the Indian food. Really.
But I'm very happy. I'm really fond of chicken curry and rice. I believe every non-vegetarian would agree with me on this.
One day we'll eat it together.
In India, did you try this?
I tried it, of course, and I tried it in India a lot, and I tried it in Egypt a lot, and I do eat it in Egypt a lot.
Wonderful. In your novel, when we talk about, it's like you are describing the events and the emotions with the use of colors.
Yes.
Laila is thinking and telling Nirvana, yes, I remember when you were trying to pull me out of my own cocoon.
Yes.
You sent me the color brown with, which meant earthen color, which is the color of fertility, stability, and serenity.
Yes, yes.
And then at the same time, you're talking about with clashing colors, with brown, with dark blue, and you're talking about turquoise with olive green, and you're mentioning the emotions and everything with the use of colors. So this is showing the painter part of you.
Yes, of course. I will tell you something. This is something that you might not know. Whenever I used to write a short story or a novel before this novel, I used to consider the literary techniques. I looked to the reader, the critic, things like that, until I've written a novel about the university days. These days were pressing on my soul very much. I got fixated at that stage so that I couldn't get out of this stage even after I got married and got kids and things like that. I'm always in the university. So
Okay.
I decided to write a novel about the university days with all its love stories, the books that we studied, everything. And I was so happy when I was writing this book, and I didn't consider what the readers would say. It's something that's very normal, very regular. There's some adolescents falling in love with each other and things like that. But I was so fond of the fact of what I was writing. And this novel, when it came out of the university, it was a turning point in my literary career. Everybody liked it. Everybody identified with the characters. So from this day on, I decided to do and to write about the things that I love, no matter what. So the coming novel was The Magic of Turquoise, because I love all the colors, I love all the gems.
I totally agree, and I also agree that definitely these tones have their own power.
Yes.
And here in the novel, there was a dash of mentioning about spirituality, definitely, and also about the chakras, where you are Nirwana, being the aunt of Liela, is trying to tell her to focus on her throat chakra. That is going to open up and give her, the liberty and the freedom of expression.
Yes, and strengthen the creativity as well. Yeah.
As well, yeah. So are you into the chakra healings and all also?
I've never been into to a yoga class, but I read a lot, and I believe in the law of attraction and the power of thinking, and I believe so much in spirituality, the connection of souls. I don't need to go to a class because it's innate in me,
I'm good. That's so very beautiful. So today you're wearing something turquoise as a neck piece with a beautiful pyramids, I think.
Yeah, just for you, especially for you.
I'm totally honored. Mai. Egypt. I was so drawn to Egypt for so long, and it happened last year, and it was a wonderful. 2018, December 31st. I was in Cairo.
Okay.
And what all places you have described there, Mediterranean Sea and the Nile. I've been there, so I was, really able to connect to the novel. And what was beautiful is like little humor. Like when Nirwana is seeing Tariq, she's like feeling, why the hell is he wearing those, the bland shirts? It's like I should use it like my sketchbook paper and just color the shirts.
Yes.
And how she was forced into getting married to Tariq. And then how she met Mohanad. That was so beautiful. So, when I talk about the Nile, River Nile, and the mermaid, there is a mention of the mermaid in this, that when it comes back, it is hit again. The obedient birds to hit again to go back and then return. Those are the mermaids of the Nile. Would you put some light on that?
It's something in the Pharaonic history. They used to sacrifice a real beautiful lady, to give it as a sacrifice to the Nile every year. She was called not the mermaid, the bride of the Nile. And she was one of the most beautiful girls. They used to adorn her and everything and give her as a gift to the Nile every year. But that was back then in the old times, pharaonic times.
So what they used to do? They used to kill her? Or they used to
yes.
to kill her?
Yes, to give it to put her in the Nile, and it was a ritual that was approved at that days, and it was an honor for the lady who gives herself for the Nile back then.
That's very interesting. And
yeah. That was in the time of the Pharaohs, very old, 5,000 years ago. Yeah.
Yes, Egypt is the land of pharaohs too.
Yeah.
And falcons and pharaohs and all over. Like I was totally drawn to Egypt and pyramids and the beauty of it. The Egyptian culture and the Indian culture is very similar. If from your novel I get to know that even in the high middle class family, they were the sects. Okay, he's an engineer, he's a doctor, and these are the two great professions to follow. And they would give anything to marry their daughter to a doctor. And humanities never held a high and a respectable place in any of the universities or in any of the households.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, going through to know more about you, and I came to know, if I'm not wrong, you wanted to be a cartoonist.
Yes.
How come you wanted to be a cartoonist, and then you joined one of the highest and the prestigious American University of Cairo, and then the theft happened?
Yes.
So there was a theft that happened. Yeah. So what happened? I mean, could you just tell me about that?
Okay. I joined the American University in Cairo, but at the first year, we don't decide our major. Okay. So I hadn't decided yet, but I like painting very much, and there was a job opening at the university magazine for a cartoonist. So I applied at this job, and then one day I was sitting in the cafeteria, having my handbag on the arm of the chair, and went to get something from the cafeteria. And when I got back, I found out that my purse, which was a present at my school, a very precious thing to my heart, it was stolen at this prestigious high-class university. So I was totally shocked for these two reasons, because it's a prestigious university, and the purse was very dear to my heart. So I found myself writing an article saying my opinion and making interviews with the professors from the social point of view, from the psychological point of view, everybody. It was like an investigation. Yes. Okay. And it was called Beware of Thefts in one of the most prestigious universities. God. Yes. And I presented it to the university magazine, just like something to let the steam off my chest. And I was waiting for the cartoonist job. The editor-in-chief back then, and she became a friend of mine later, she told me, okay, you're a very good writer, but the cartoonist got back from his vacation and we don't need you as a cartoonist. I told her, no, I'm not a writer. I've never written anything before. This is just something exceptional. She said, no, you're a writer with us, and you're gonna be with us. I was very surprised.
So did you get back your purse?
No, not at all. No. But I got prizes.
The kind of the first article you wrote, first article you wrote, it was like a Sherlock Holmes. You're talking the psychology of the mind and the sociology. I mean, it was like too good.
Exactly. It taught me a lot to be very cautious when I write, because I've mentioned some jobs in the university I shouldn't have sat so. I said the cleaners might have stolen it. And it was a big, big fuss at university. How would you dare say the cleaners? Why didn't you say the professors as well? Why didn't you say the students? I've written it unconsciously. I was so young and I didn't know the rules of writing. So from this day, I decided to major in journalism, Arabic journalism, and I took writing as a career in the university, and I became a reporter in this magazine, and I was very active to the extent that I became the associate editor of the magazine.
Wow. That's wonderful, and we have seen in your writings also, I've gone through your different books also, and from how you wanted to be a cartoonist, and you became a storyteller and started writing novels and getting awards into it. And it was so heartwarming when I read the comments of your few readers who said, even if you write in English, one of your reader had written back to you that it's so beautiful. So you said, but it's written in English. So then this reader tells you, I can read Arabic through your English.
Oh,
and it was
I haven't seen this.
Yes, it's there. I mean, you go and check it. It's there. I mean, it's on Twitter, and it was like so heartwarming. While going through it, I also read one of your very, very popular and a favorite. I would say the punchline, you use it for yourself, that you became the puppet of your own self.
Yes.
So, is it from the times when you were a child and one of your very big doll, I believe a doll of a human size, after the party got over, all the friends and the guests left, you realized that the head of the doll has been twisted. And it's hanging to her chest.
Exactly.
So what was the feeling because you used to relate to the doll a lot. So what was that feeling of, seeing your doll like that? And how then you came into theater?
It was very hard. It's just as the fact that if you discover a crime, somebody is killed in your room, and when she was just like that, I realized at that time that she couldn't tell who killed her or couldn't defend herself. So I thought that the dolls and toys are useless. And I decided to become my own doll. Of course, it wasn't a decision as much as it was a hobby in childhood. I used to adopt characters, sisters, friends, and I used to bestow some roles on my family members, my aunts and uncles and daddy to play with me.
Every summer there used to be a play written, directed by Mai.
Yes, exactly. and the people who used to work at home as well, I used to defend them. I used to be their lawyer. I made them leave their jobs, their work, and sit like as if they were in a court. And I make one a victim and the other one a criminal. And I used to defend them and things like that. So that was more.
Have you ever written some thriller novel, some criminal novel?
The last one, Tamar, I intended to write it as a criminal novel, but I will tell you something. And I put the headlines and the plot and everything was set. And by the time I started to write it, I got afraid. I was afraid because I believe in this law of attraction. I was afraid to bring these things to my life. So I changed my mind totally and I changed the plot.
But do you realize somewhere you brought it while thinking that who would have killed my doll, and while writing an article about your theft of the purse? Somewhere you have that kind of understanding back of your mind. So must try your hand on it. Okay, so in this novel, we also spoke about spiritual connection.
Yeah.
And how Nirwana took Liela as a spiritual daughter.
Yeah.
Even in your real life, you have a spiritual daughter.
I do.
How is, you have two children. So how did you feel that you need to have a spiritual daughter, or how it happened?
It's the niece of my husband, my children's cousin. Her parents are divorced, and she felt she was related to me, and I wanted to help her, to give her a hand, to get her parents together, just like in the novel. But she from this day she felt that we are not just her aunt-in-law, and she's just like any kid in the family. She felt that she was special to me, and we became like friends. Yes, she's a little bit older than my son, but she can be my daughter. But we treat each other as friends, but with the concept of a guru and a student. And at the same time, we are friends. We enjoy everything together. We enjoy going out together. And she says to me, she said something very emotional the other day. At my age, I've written 10 books. I've got kids, and I got married, and I've done everything that I like in life. And actually, I don't have something strong to live for. I don't have, aspirations, ambitions, because I'm satisfied with what I have. So I always say, if I die at this time, I'm not afraid. I'm open to death and things like that. But the other day, she told me, please don't say this. Please don't die, because there's nobody in this whole universe that I can abide to, that I can resort to and find the answers. And even if I read, when I read the sacred books, I don't find answers that is satisfactory, like the answers you give me. So
I can connect with you so much, because I too have this kind of a spiritual connection with my teacher who taught me spirituality, who actually taught me this therapy, serenity, surrender. So I connect with that very beautifully. And when you describe this in your novel about a spiritual daughter and how Nirvana wants to tell Leila that live her life, she should not be like Tariq, and back days, like it was so beautiful to read when she is confessing to herself that, Nirvana, I got off the stage because I was so scared that someone will see my weaknesses. And it is like, it's in a normal life, we are so scared of that our weaknesses should not be open, or maybe we feel it's a weakness, another person doesn't even realize it, but we keep ourselves so closed, all our emotions being so pushed down always, like we become so judgmental about ourselves, about every step we take, that in the end we land up not taking a step and living for others. So in this, Nirvana did a lot of things for herself later on in life, like what all she wanted. That all she did when she was in coma. And the way you have described the romance of Nirvana and Mohanad in Germany was like, it's beautiful. It's so pure. It's so fresh. It's like it can touch you. That romance, that was, I would say, there is a word in Urdu, we call it Pakiza. As sacred as divine. So the love which you've described between Nirvana and Mohanad, and how Nirvana just comes back, leaving Mohanad, was so beautiful. So even in her coma, she went back to those times when she had gone for a cultural exchange program. And somewhere down the line, you too had gone to a cultural exchange program to the same place. So is it somewhere related to your personal life also?
No, this is what I have been telling you. When I went to this cultural exchange program, I was amazed by the scenery and by the beautiful world I've been living in. It was a soul house overlooking the Alps and a lake, and it was amazing. And I got to meet people from different cultures or so. And at the same time, nothing had happened. And I've always said to myself, this place should have had a love story. It needs a love story. We were just dancing and singing and hiking in the mountains, and that was it back then. So
2 decades after, you knitted a beautiful love story.
Yeah, I put a love story to this place, and later I went to Germany. There is a paragraph that I cannot pick out now in this novel, that she was so afraid to leave the house, as if she was leaving something through death, or something separating by death. But life taught me later on that we'll always leave part of ourselves in a place to go and pick this part later. And 20 years later, I went back to this place to pick this part, but as a writer, with a book, as a celebrity, and that was really amazing. And this made me believe in this fact so much. In every country I go to, I just leave part of myself in it to go back and pick it and leave another part, so that I go over and over again.
No, and I think that is one of the reasons that this book came in German and Serbian language also.
No, the Serbian is another one.
Serbian. And this came in German?
This one in German and English.
German and English. So that's so beautiful. I
Yes.
believe in your life also, personal life. We would always say that whatever we go through, somewhere down the line, that always reflects in our writings.
Yes.
Am I
Excuse
audible?
me, would you?
Okay.
Would you repeat the question, please?
Okay. Coming back to the next question, Mai. I mean, what do you think, as a writer, as an author, that somewhere down the line, our personal experiences definitely, reflects from whatever we write in a novel.
Of course.
So, you agree with me? Like when I came to Egypt and I went to this big library in Alexandria.
Yes.
And that was the first time I came to know about a genre known as realistic fiction. It's like, it's neither fiction nor non-fiction. It's realistic fiction. Sometimes we have the characters, as you said, and sometimes we have interesting places. We just intermingle them.
Yeah.
And then definitely when we have the base of the story, then the story keeps flowing and cooking up and becoming a fiction. So there was, this was the reason I named Numi realistic fiction.
Yes, yes.
It was from there I got this key. Yes, this is realistic fiction. As you said, like I wrote about India, I wrote about Indian food in your novel. That was just like, it wasn't subconsciously I was writing. It was, I just wrote it. Similarly, the first chapter of Numi, I just wrote it.
Yeah.
It just happened to me.
Exactly.
It just happened. So I think that's a very beautiful connect between my writings and your writings, or me connecting through your novel. That's something like the Magic of Turquoise. When we talk about the Magic of Turquoise, here we are talking about the color, the shades of turquoise, actually.
Yes.
Through through your throat chakras, through your swings, through your emotions, and through the Mediterranean Sea.
Yes, yes.
When we are talking about the turquoise, because it's only because of the Mediterranean Sea that Nirwana went through Coma, and then she takes back her journey and she did all those things and remembered all those things which she wanted to do in her younger days when she wants Leela to do it. So it's like a beautiful journey. While I come to the end of your novel, it's like a very, you leave a very open ending. It's not like a very closed ending. So it's like the Nirwana has started enjoying her journey back. She's enjoying all those moments, all those beautiful moments, which she had just picturized in her mind. And now she was living those moments.
Yes, yes.
And she's like, at one time she wants to come back to her family, and at other time she doesn't want to live this. Moment of being what she wants to do. This is so beautiful. But I found the end, you leave it for the readers to think whether actually she comes out of coma or not. And what happens to Leela? Finally, Leela read that email, which was left unread, and all this instance happened. So, why do you think you have left the ending like that?
Well, yes, okay. Deep down, I wanted her to come out so as not to live all her life in an illusion or in coma. It's just like something like the lockdown we're living now. It's something that is, it's a fancy, it's not real. And at the same time, it's real, but it's not real, you know. But one day we have to come out to live the real life. It's just like this coma. I've written it in a smooth way. I've written it that she was coming out really, but in a smooth way that would lead the reader choose his own ending, because as I told you before, I don't like to write the big letters like in the movies, the end. This is very misleading. There is nothing in life called the end. Even the life itself, the whole life, if a man dies, it's not the end. Yes. True. So every life is a group of phases, of stages, that an end to a stage is a start of another stage. So I've written it smoothly, in a smooth way, in a romantic way, so that the reader chooses whatever he wants to choose. But deep down, if a reader is close to me, he would get the idea that I wanted her to come out of it. And if you want me to read few lines so that the viewers would take an idea about
I would like you to read that. Those are very, very emotional lines.
Yes,
I connected to it very beautifully.
Yes, that's the beginning of the chapter of the Nirvana when she's coming out of the coma. She said, I feel I'm ascending and once again getting close to the surface. It seems, coma, that you weren't caused by drowning asphyxiation. You were caused by the concussion I got when the jet ski hit my head. She was a doctor, by the way, so she can
she could relate to the things.
Yeah. So it seems I will be bidding you farewell after a few hours and will return to them joyfully embrace them. Yes, I will embrace them because I have started to accept them as they are, with their noise and the things that never change, because I have finally forgiven myself. I dove into my box of colors and emerged to paint lines that curve and dangle around Kufi, Raqqa, and Nasr letters that write our beloved stories and immortalize them with decorations. My brushes that have dipped in heavy oil paints, and even my markers have failed to scream out what is inside me of colors, but I was always certain that what we strongly thought of, we would strongly receive. And I knew that the shadows and derivatives of a rainbow that lie within me will burst out into being one day. So this is hope.
I read this part so many times, because when I wrote my novel.
You have a similar part in your novel.
This one. So people asked me that, why have you left it abruptly? So I said somewhere down the line, I tried to give it an ending, but then I realized, no, it's not done. Maybe let the reader decides what's the ending. Maybe the characters in my novel, the protagonists, two of them, maybe have to walk a little more to understand themselves a little more and then come back together.
Yes. I will tell you something. Maybe somebody would read this, my novel, and get use of it, benefit of it, and take it as an advice or something. But because I'm the writer and I've written it unconsciously with my subconscious, I don't feel it that much as if I was dreaming. But when I really want to read something that takes me to the light, I would read your novel, because it's coming from outside me. So you're my guru now.
True. So that's there. Like when I read my novel, Numi, I trust me.
Yeah.
I know I cannot write another novel like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like it was just time when I wrote it. So it's like in your novel, when we talk about, there is so many times when Leela is talking to herself, she's saying, "What should I speak? I feel so empty within."
Yeah, because she feels empty because she's a perfectionist, and at the same she wants to do everything right, and at the same time she wants all the answers right now, all the answers. She's very impatient. She cannot wait. She cannot wait to learn through her journey of life, and to put these learnings together so that to make the whole picture clear. So that's why she felt empty. She was normal, but she was a perfectionist and impatient. She wasn't empty or anything.
But I also thought this is a very common emotion we all have sometimes.
Yes,
like,
of course.
What to talk? I feel so empty within. Sometimes when we finish writing, so if somebody says, a publisher tells you, why don't you add one more chapter to it? And you feel no. I mean,
that's very hard. Yeah,
that's very hard. So that is the time when we get this feeling that I have said everything. So with Leela, maybe she was fighting her own demons inside.
Yes.
She was fighting that she's a useless child, and she's like a burden to her parents, and the bad luck of her mother she's still carrying to the family. She's a disgrace to the family. So these are the demons she was fighting, and how Nirvana helped. The whole novel, there are no chapters. It's a conversation. The chapter name is Nirvana and then Leela. Nirvana is talking, then Leela is talking. It's so different. It's so different, yet it's so beautiful. The language is very beautiful. The scenes described is very beautiful. How intricately the two voices of Nirvana and Leela are knitted together.
Yeah, they are two faces. Yeah, they are two faces
in their own way. The liberation from the first family traditions. Yeah, in their own way, they are doing it. The way is different. Leela is doing it very consciously. Nirvana has gone into her unconscious mind, and she is reliving that and agreeing to this. So in your natural, in your day-to-day life, in your real life, you are a painter, you are a translator, you are a presenter, you are an author. I mean, and you also give voiceovers. Voiceovers to one of the very, very popular cartoon, Hilda. I mean, how do you manage all this? And do you think your family was not happy when you chose humanities over choosing medicine or engineering?
No, not at all, because my father was a doctor and I came from a family of doctors, and he knows how hard it is. At a certain time, he knows how hard it is, and he wanted me to be his he used to tell me, you're like a bird. Yes, I want you to, you're my colored bird, and I don't want you to get exposed to the hardships of life, and it's enough that you studied at school, so you study languages or things like that. So my dad was happy for me not to join the Faculty of Medicine.
That's so nice. You are a single child. Were your parents very protective during those times? So I don't know, I just this is my reading, I may be wrong, but like in Nirvana there was a shades of Mai Khalid when she was going through that coma stage and living her moments with Monad, and also realizing the fact that she's married to Tariq. You know, everything, whatever she wanted to do. I don't know, this I get a feeling that maybe you were overprotective. So sometimes when we go out, we feel that freedom. And at the same time, when we actually feel a lot of freedom, we start feeling guilty and we start feeling fearful of, doing all those which were told not to be done.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I'm right in saying that Nirvana carries few characteristics of Mai Khalid.
Yes, of course. I used a lot of building up her characters from my own life. The place where the love story went on, the character I've always wished for, the man of the world, to me was this virtual
playing
Muhammad.
the band and with the long hair.
Yes. This virtual. And of course, love of arts, love of painting, of colors, of gems. Of course, it carries shades of me. Every novel, every protagonist have a shade of me.
Yes, that's it. And it's so beautiful to know that you wanted Leela, like you have a spiritual daughter, and then Leela is also a spiritual daughter to you in the novel. And you wanted Leela to get into the jewelry business, and for the short time, your own daughter started her jewelry business.
Yes.
I mean, this is sometimes when I read all these things, I find this so connected. If you look for the hints which is being dropped for you to pick it up and understand what life is going to come. I mean, it's just so beautiful. In your novel, you have used this word, I've written it, zakaziko.
Yeah.
What's this zakaziko? I mean, that's an expression.
No, it's not an expression. It's something that I invented on Muhammad's tongue. In Arabic, intelligent means zakiya. And there is a name, an Arabic name that is zakiya, meaning intelligent. So Muhammad, Nirvana got everything wrong about Muhammad. So he was making fun of her. He told her, I will call you Zakiya. You are so intelligent. He was making fun of her. And then, sarcastically. And then he gave this Zakiya name a nickname. So he told her, I will call you Zakaziko. Because every time you misread the situation, you don't understand anything. You're far from being Zakiya, far from being intelligent.
Very right. And this, the mention of this romantic road was very beautiful. And quite a lot in your novel you have mentioned about yellow secretion.
Yeah.
It's what? It's like,
No, it's something, she related the romantic road with a dark road that she's been to with her cousin Tariq, who became her fiance, then her husband. There wasn't a love story between them. And he was always like, she used to like him a lot, but as a brother or as a friend. Not as a husband or a lover. And when they they got engaged, they took her to a dark road and tried to kiss her, and he actually kissed her. But she felt that there is a yellow secretion in her mouth. She didn't enjoy the kiss, and she related this as well to the group of blind people she was teaching. She was doing some voluntary work reading for the blind, and she thought that this dark road was blind and as dark as blindness. But when she went to Germany and she went in the romantic road, she felt something different, and she felt that this road would bring her something different, another perspective of the kiss, and that's what exactly happened when she kissed Muhammad.
I took yellow secretion as a forceful sex, or some forceful lovemaking
Yes.
is
Yeah.
the color we are talking
Exactly.
about, the
Exactly.
yellow secretions. That's so beautiful. So you also describe turquoise, or the blue brings the wedding luck.
Yeah.
Brings the wedding luck. So this is how you played with all the colors, and the whole
Yeah.
novel is like a beautiful canvas with full of emotions and a subtle humor. The subtle humor between Nirvana and Monad, between
Yes. Yeah.
sometimes the subtle humor between uh, Nirvana and Tariq, Nirvana and
Yeah.
Layla, and
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
Mediterranean Sea. So this is indeed a very, very beautiful novel. And now we know that how it got me connected to you, because out of your all novels, why did I pick up this novel? I could have picked up
Yeah.
other novel also, but I was really drawn to this Magic of Turquoise, because somewhere down the line, turquoise
Yeah.
is my very favorite color, one of the favorite
Oh,
colors. And
really?
I buy it less because when you wash it, it bleeds a lot.
Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons I buy turquoise little less, but I'm really
Uh-huh.
fond of turquoise and magenta. These are two
Yeah.
colors
Okay.
I really like.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming back to your real life, so you are, doing the voiceovers. So you're doing voiceovers for Hilda or some more characters also?
I know some more characters in other children's series, and that was like healing to my or therapeutic or something. My daughter was at the age of adolescence, and she was always silent. She was always unsatisfied with everything. So, and she was. Everybody thought she's very pampered, and I love her so much, and I always hug her and kiss her and do whatever. I almost spoil her. But whenever anybody sees her with this silent voice, slow voice, they ask me, why are you making her sad? So I go furious. So I went and yeah, I went and told her, if you don't stop this sad attitude, either you tell me what's make you sad and I will help you out, or either I will take you to a psychologist to see what's wrong with you. And at that time, she got a role at a children's series. It was called Famous Five, and she was one of the adventurous.
I read a lot, Famous Five.
Yeah. She was one of the adventurous characters, and I was her mom in the series. And when she got to the studio and she started talking with this slow voice, the director used to tell, no, louder, give me energy, give me energy. So she said, no, I won't do this unless mom gets out of the studio. And I used to get out. And I used to get out of the studio for 3 hours till she finishes recording. And each session, she comes back as a totally different person, and she has totally changed, and she became an overt personality, talking with a voice who can hear. Yes,
that's great.
So dubbing did us a lot of favors,
Wow. So I would request you to say one or dialogue for what you dubbed for Hilda, one of the very, very popular cartoons.
Yes, it's not a cartoon. It was a soap opera or something.
Okay.
But no, it wasn't a cartoon at all. It was a soap opera. I cannot remember a certain line, but I will tell you an interesting story.
Okay.
I have never ever watched the series at home. Okay, and there was a scene that I recorded. Hilda was naked, but in bed, half naked, in bed with somebody, and it was my voice talking to that guy, her lover or something. And we have never ever watched that series at home. And one evening, I was sitting with my husband next to me, and he was playing with the remote control, and I found Hilda. Stop! This is Ugly Betty. This is the series where I act. And we found this. Yes, this big scene on the LCD, the huge LCD with Hilda half naked and with my voice speaking. I
With
felt
somebody
like,
else in the bed.
yeah,
That's scandalous.
exactly. I felt that it was sinful. That was sinful. And he, yani, thank God he was broad-minded and he just looked at me. He said, "This is the role you're playing." I told him, no, that was the only scene. It was only my voice. So,
wonderful. And
yeah.
I believe you sing very well.
Yes, I'm in the choir.
Yeah.
In the choir of the university, but I'm not a soloist. I cannot sing solo at all. I just have the fun.
You have already actually rejected my request, because I was about to tell you to sing a line for us or so. So, okay, this is how, what next, any name you have given to your next novel which you thought resembles to Numi?
It's called, it's a temporary name, The Secret of Amber.
Secret of Amber, again a color.
Yes, no, I mean the color, the amber, that is the gem, and the amber where they do scents and they do perfumes. Yes, it's about perfumes this time and about architecture. And how to keep the heritage, the old architecture, and I will get connected with India, and I'm gonna use my trip. It's just like the Magic of Turquoise. I'm gonna use my trip to India and use the places where I've been to, and I was fascinated.
Definitely, you can plan a trip to with Rafi in my festival, Yayavar Literary Festival, to Jammu.
I hope so. I hope after the lockdown, hopefully.
Yeah, after the lockdown. And yes, Egypt is a land of perfumes. I mean, no doubt.
Yeah.
Egypt is a land of perfume. So, have you ever written a book on ISIS or some like when I go to Numi, somewhere you have met Numi?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So I have mentioned
that
the dot she's following, and then she felt that she is in the feminine voice of one of the goddesses.
Yeah.
So you know the same kind of scene I saw in Vietnam, where there was a same kind of underwater cave, and it was the lamps were like the hoods of snakes, and the money of the snakes burning. That was like very beautiful. I had goosebumps moment I entered that cave, as if I knew my way out. And imagine, like, I wanted Numi to be in Arabic, because Numi name also, when came to me, it's the name of the two protagonists. I did not know the meaning of Numi.
I love the name. I wished I could be younger to give birth to a girl and call her Numi. And if anybody asks me, I would tell them this is an Indian friend who wrote a novel. I don't would tell the whole story, but unfortunately, maybe my granddaughter or something.
In Arabic. I'm very happy that you like the novel, and
so much. And I was going to ask you some questions about the novel and your relationship to Egypt and things like that, but actually you have answered me within the interview. I was preparing some questions about where did you get the name Noha? It's an Arabic name, but mainly Egyptian. You don't find that much of Noha in the other Arab countries. How did you come up with this name?
I just decided to bring Noha. I wanted to name it some unknown name, uncommon name. Like Nupur is not a very common name. When my mom kept it around, 49 years back, I was the only Nupur in my college and school. So I wanted to keep some, this word Numi. It was given to me in one of my meditation, that write a novel with the name Numi. And I did not know the meaning of Numi till when we were traveling for the Nile cruise. I met an Egyptologist, and wherever I used to go, I used to ask them, do you know the meaning of Numi? In your language, do you have Numi? I asked this Egyptologist that, do you know what Numi is? And he said, yes, Numi means sleep. And on a broader canvas, it is like to be with somebody, to be in a situation where you can be yourself. That is Numi, where you can feel the flow of the divine love. So
amazing.
I was like jumped and I said, wow, now I know why I had come for this trip to Egypt.
Yeah.
And I met Liaquat Ali, your cultural secretary. I met Mohanad Dayeb. You know, there were so many. And then I met Rafi.
Yeah, and when he was writing Karma at the same time.
Yes. He was writing Karma and he believed in Karma so much.
Yeah.
And he was like telling me to come and take my classes, Serenity Surrender classes with him or on Zoom. And I wished it to come in Arabic. See, it's in Arabic. So when I look at you and look at this Turquoise, your novel, The Magic of Turquoise, your memories of your visit to Germany, definitely brought your novel into German language too.
Exactly. I have a similar experience with one of my novels. I had a dream of an Indian girl. Oh my God, she was just sitting like you in the dream in a screen. Oh my God. And she said, I'm Indian. I'm from Peshawar. And I looked for the word Peshawar and I found it has no meaning. And I found out that it was a Welsh number. It's the number 4 in Welsh. And I am, as May, I've never known that people from Wales talk Welsh, that is different from English. And my protagonist at that time was Welsh. And I always thought, they would speak English back in Wales when he goes to Wales. So I've written the scene just like that. The Indian girl saying, I'm an Indian, I'm from Peshawar. And he told her, how did you know the number 4 in Welsh? She said, I don't know, I got it in a dream. And he was called Neil. And she told him, do you know that Nil is the name of the Nile? It's the river of life that gives us life. And that was another love story in Switzerland.
So see, these are the things it's so beautiful meeting you here on this platform. What message would you like to give to India and Yayavar?
Actually, I've always believed in the fact that there is nothing called an Egyptian person and an Indian person. We all have the same souls with minor differences according to the cultural backgrounds, which enriches our souls, and that shouldn't make differences as much as it sticks us together to be curious to know more about ourselves if we have a common ground that is called the soul, that is so similar, because psychology is made for everybody in the universe. So we all have the same spiritual structure. And this pandemic thing proved that we actually all live in one boat, and we have to fight it all together to get out of this crisis. And I hope after this crisis finishes, no more wars, but actually this is wishful thinking, because people who make war will always make war, and this is something very
so we need to accept the war too. We need to accept the war too. So it was really nice talking to you, Mai Khalid. Thank you so much for your time. And guys, do read The Magic of Turquoise, a very short read, a beautiful conversation between Nirwana and Liela, and take that spiritual dip with a dash of romance and huge lot of emotions with different colors. Thank you so much, Mai Khalid, for being with us.
Thank you. I think this won't be the end of it, because there's nothing called the end, and will be just the start of more and more to come, of more connections with India, with you, and with all our friends all over the world.